So last lab we finished here. So this lab you have to take these two steps also. Minus 3 dB bandwidth and M peak. So minus 3 dB bandwidth is the Bode plot is something like this. Minus 3 dB crossing point. This bandwidth is called minus 3 dB bandwidth. And M peak is when this where this here on peak will occur. This peak value is called M peak. So like last time, you have to use this one, whatever things you are used earlier. This one is proportional plus right feedback, and you have to do linear analysis. So analysis, control design, linear analysis. And here you click on Bode. So it will appear Bode plot. And in characteristics, peak response, you have to click. Then you will get peak response. And minus 3 dB bandwidth you can find clicking this one and drag it to minus 3. So minus 3 dB bandwidth is getting clicking this minus this band this one, and you change it, and when minus 3 dB is occurring, that time you will get the minus 3 dB bandwidth and fill these columns. So that is for P plus right feedback. So P plus right feedback is proportional plus right feedback. That is called the P plus right feedback. So all of you do this minus 3 dB and M peak. These two things you will get it from Bode response, and these three step response, and you have to use Simulink LTI viewer only you have to use. And the first procedure 1 and procedure 2 will be completed after doing these two things. So after doing these things, you just inform me.
So,
Yeah.
so in the Bode plot, what happens there is an horizontal line initially, and then it peaks, like it goes up and then starts coming down. So this peak value has to be that constant initial values, or the maximum value at which that maximum occurs.
Actually, this Bode plot is a Bode plot. If you are studying the Bode plot, when the gain is unity, gain is unity. That is the output gain to input gain. Then it will come at a 0. As the frequency is increasing, there when it is crossing near to 0, it is start crossing near to 0. If you are study the filter or second order filter or something like that, this filter will have this attenuation. So attenuation is happening when there is a that frequency is matching with its this value, and it will occur a peak. Just like you are studied the RLC circuit at all. No? This RLC circuit is occurring like this. Here on peak will occur. When L is equal to C, this resonant frequency will be occurring. So like that, one peak will occur here, and that peak after that it will attenuate. So it is like a filter only. So higher frequency things it will attenuate. So this system is working in this bandwidth only. System performance in this bandwidth only. After that, it will get attenuated. That is the meaning of this bandwidth. So your system working region only we are calculating using minus 3 dB bandwidth.
So one doubt,
Yeah.
sir, like after getting the Bode plot, how to like trace the graph so as to get the minus 3 dB
You
bandwidth?
click on this here
Okay.
and you drag it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Here also you can click it and drag it. But the minus 180 is coming at infinity only. It is crossing minus 180 is the that stability margin at all coming there. But you will study these things after studying Bode only. I think now root locus only started. So you are concentrating on time domain specifications only. When the frequency domain specifications are coming, these things will come, and how to convert this theta into this omega n. This equation you will study when Bode plots comes. This is frequency domain to time domain correlation only. So all of you are completed. This part you are completed now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you are completed this thing, next third one is you have to add a integral controller with the integral controller gain is ki by s, that is in parallel with the proportional controller gain k1. So you have to add a integral controller in parallel with the controller proportional controller gain k1 with ki is equal to k1 by 10, and repeat the same as you are done in this 2. So you have to find out these things using this extra. So what you have to do is, now this one is your proportional controller. So proportional plus integral controller you are now going to do. Proportional plus integral controller. So proportional plus integral means that I explained earlier. This gain, this error constant will be coming here. This error, here error will be coming. That error is going to ki into 1 by s, and one part is going to k1. If you are using only k1, it is called proportional controller. So this part also coming here. So in addition to this proportional controller, this part also coming. That is ki into 1 by s. And you are adding a summer block here, plus and plus. And it is as it is. So it is called proportional plus integral controller. And this rate feedback also there. So it is called PI plus rate feedback controller. So now you have to add So you have to now just make a copy of this one, whatever this simulink you are make a copy of this one, and you name it as lab underscore to underscore I. So it is proportional plus integral controller. So integrate part you have to just cascade with it, and these things are as earlier. You do the same thing, repeating thing you have to do. So this is the PI controller. Ki parallel with that one, K1 by 10 into 1 by S. This kind of thing he can do, or Ki into 1 by S. So this one is a gain block here, gain block, and this one is a integrator. So gain block, it is available in math toolbox, and integrator in continuous. So you have to use this one only, K into 1 by S. So you have to use a gain block and integrator. So gain block and integrator you have to use. The gain Ki is equal to K1 by 10 only. Either you can use K1 by 10 or Ki you can use. And integrator you can find out in this continuous block. Here continuous block, integrator. And you have to complete these things. So this is called P plus I. Here two things are plus plus only. How to add this one is, you double click on this earlier thing. Here you double click it and make one more plus. And this minus should be coming here. And like this you can do. So it will come in plus 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 minus. Just drag this one and you can do it. And K into 1 by S you can do it. And repeat the same thing as here. What you are done here. From body you will get these two values, and from step response you will get other three values.
Sir, what is the definition of rise time which is taken by MATLAB when it gives the results?
What?
What value does MATLAB take when finding the rise time? We have studied that for rise time we need to get the amplitude should be half of the maximum. So
Rise time is the time
half
taken to reach.
steady state value. So
Huh?
I think MATLAB takes from 10% to 90% by
Yeah,
calculating
MATLAB
it.
is taken 10% to 90%.
90.
And in what you are studied also 10% to 90% only. No?
Sir, for underdamped system, we studied from 0 to the
0
first
to 100
steady state
percentage
value, sir.
for uh,
For the first
overdamped
time.
system.
Yeah.
Overdamped system,
We
you are,
studied for underdamped, sir.
yeah, this is underdamped system. So for underdamped system, you are taking 10% to 90%. If you are following this Norman as nice, it is written like that only. Norman as nice textbook 10% to 90% only.
so I am getting a different Bode diagram from the one which you are showing.
This one is for earlier thing only.
Okay.
And if you are using this plus and minus only, you have to use. This feedback is minus only. Otherwise, you will get some other result. Otherwise, that Bode and step response will be almost some same, and little improvement only you will get it using a integrator.
Sir,
Yeah.
so can you once show the rise time for it so that I can like confirm whether I am getting the correct one?
So what rise time you are getting?
So 0.22.
0.222 only you are getting. No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. 0.222 is some other system.
Sorry, sir. I like spelled wrong. It's settling time. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. 0.222.
Okay, sir.
0.222 is right. Here it is time something it is there.
Yes, sir. Like on my system, it's 0.222.
Yeah, 222 is right, I think.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
For PI controller, right?
Yeah, this is PI proportional plus integral plus rate feedback. This rate is feedbacking and proportional plus integral control. This plus is for that one only. P plus proportional plus integral. So today was your control system examination.
Yes, sir.
How
Yes,
it
sir.
was?
Fine, sir.
Yeah. It is like one word question.
It's a conceptual mainly.
Yeah, okay.
What is the gain you took along with the integrator? Is it K1 by
Yeah, K is equal to K1 by 10 only you have to use. This is here now. You have to use a integral control gain. Integral controller Ki into 1 by S, and the controller gain is K is equal to K1 by 10. This is the third point procedure.
Like
So
for settling time, like I was just getting like a small variation from what you told. Like I'm getting 1.9 or 0.198 or something.
that might be you are done here something wrong. Can you share your screen? This one K1 K2 K1 K2. Yeah, you configuration parameter, model configuration parameter, control E, control plus E.
Loading
Yeah, fixed step size. These things are correct. Okay, K2, K3. This K value is K1 by 10 only, na? Yeah. Then go to the simulation linear analysis, model linearize.
Sir,
Yeah.
is the minus 3 dB frequency same for both?
It's having some variation.
Small variation.
Yeah.
So for both it's 31.3 only.
Yeah, small variation will be there. 35.9. This is actually wrong. Abhay, you check with your parameter.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, I will check.
That parameter values now.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I will check that again. I
A minus 3 dB will get click on this one and put it in minus 3. Then you will get minus 3 dB value.
So can you show again?
Yeah, click on this blue line
Yes, sir.
and you drag it.
So, but we won't get exactly. I'm getting 3.01,
Yeah, you will get
2.99.
exactly minus 3. If you are
You know, move it
Sir.
slowly. I think you'll get it.
Sir, while yes, sir. And sir, on making both them exactly 3, it's same for both.
Yeah.
what is the value of K1 and K2 that you're getting? Like I just want to check that if it's right.
K1 is 19.50 and K2 is 0.938.
Yes, sir, that those values were wrong. That's what that was the problem.
Click on this one and move it. Otherwise, here on zoom button is there. This body plot. You click this zoom and this area you zoom in. This area you can zoom it. and this is 5, so it is coming 3 on the top only. So again you zoom it, then -2 here, 4 here, you click on here, then you will get it. You just deselect this one and click it here and you change it, you will get exactly 3. You have to use this zoom in and zoom out things here in Bode. If you are not getting this exactly, zoom it and do it.
So for -3 dB, I am getting 37.1.
What you are getting?
37.1.
That is wrong only. You check your parameter values. Whatever things you are like used earlier, those parameter values you check it. K1, K2 and omega n values you calculate it and verify it. J and B also.
Sir,
Yeah.
so what is the settling time for proportional rate feedback type, like for the case one?
What you are getting?
So 0.217.
Yeah, that might be.
So that is
I also got that.
okay.
So you are finished this one. P plus I plus rate feedback.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you are finished this one, we can move to next one. That is fourth one. Fourth one is you have to add a so you have to add a derivative controller. So in addition to this proportional plus integral controller, you have to add a derivative controller. Derivative controller, and derivative controller gain is this KD, and this is a transfer function. KD into S, KD into S divided by 1 plus S by 300. So this is a derivative controller, KD into S. So this is not a proper transfer function. So making a proper transfer function, we will add a pole at very far. So far away pole will be added here. So that is why this denominator term is coming, far away pole. And this KD value is K2 into KTG divided by KP. This KD value is coming as K2 into KTG is here. This is K2 into KTG. That is the feedback of rate feedback. Rate feedback gains are K2 into KTG and multiplied this KP. So that one only here it is coming KD equal to K2 into KTG divided by KP. Because one more KP is adding in the forward path. So that KD value is exactly same as your rate feedback. So derivative controller gain is exactly same as your rate feedback, and you have to connect it with the parallel to the PI controller. So PI controller what you are used earlier, that in parallel with that one. So here you are used this one. So again 1 plus will come. Here you have to use KD into S divided by 1 plus S by 300 you have to use and add a plus sign. And this parallel to here, and the KD value is K2 into KTG divided by KP. And one more thing is there, that time you have to remove the rate feedback. So earlier you are used P plus I plus rate feedback, and now you are using P plus I plus derivative. Instead of this rate feedback, we are adding a derivative controller, and we are checking what are the changes occurred. So that one only fourth part, and same thing you have to repeat session number 2. So all of these things you have to fill. Just you have to add a derivative controller just like this, and remove this rate feedback. First you have to remove this rate feedback, and you have to add a controller like this, KD into S. KD is not KD here. KD into S divided by 1 plus 300S. That is the gain. And rate feedback you are removing, and plus you have to do. So this is proportional plus integral plus derivative controller. And these things you have to repeat the same thing as earlier. So you have to make input perturbation and output measurement, then linear analysis, and all other steps you have to do, and you have to fill the columns. And after that, you have to give your comments regarding this experiment, this table, what you are observing, and your comments for these things. And to submit your reports, submit on next Friday. Total. So that mail ID, all of you knows now. So you have to submit only one report for this lab. These comments are important actually. Your comments and this table.
Sir, any screenshots or bitmaps of our drawings and similar?
These things are not needed. These up to this is not needed. So first this procedure, these 5 things plus you just send your codes and Simulink files. So your codes and your Simulink files. Codes and Simulink files. .zip file you can send it. Anything is there, I will check it.
Sir, do we have to put a link for them in the document or have to send them separately?
Yeah, you just send those things through mail.
Okay.
Like we can send those in a folder along with the report, right?
Yeah, you just send your own report. Report might be maximum 2 pages will be there now. Because you have to fill these 5 things. Maximum 2 pages report. And those files will be this 3 .m and 3 SLX files and 1 .m file. You make it zip and send it. So anything is there, I can check your Simulink files also. So date is 12/3/2021 Friday. So time limit, what do you want? Friday.
Okay, sir.
At what time we will send?
Before lab, sir.
Before lab. So 2:30 p.m. closing time. So 2:30 will be the closing time. So make sure that you will send these things early. So I am not taking any time. This mail ID here time will be coming. So this time I will note it down. So you can submit earlier also. Today also you can submit it. So you try to finish it. Any doubt is there, you can ask me. Yeah, comments are more important.
Sir,
Yeah.
so for the last case, is the settling time 0.202?
Maybe.
Okay, sir.
So that comments are important. Either sometimes some of them you are making this figure file and attaching those things. Those things are not required. If you are doing this, you will get these answers and fill the columns, and comments are important. Don't make it large. So 2-page reports maximum you can send. So all of you complete it. and 3:34. We can start next session by 3:40. Before that, you try to complete. Otherwise, any doubt is there, you can ask me. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So it is finished. All of you completed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we can move to next one. So the next one is non-linear analysis of this EGC system. So whatever you have done up to this lab is you are analyzing these things with linear analysis or LTI viewer, or you are using linear model. So in linear model, whatever things you are studying, that is step response, body response, all the things will be same. If you are using that is why you are taking unit step response. So if you are having a linear system, you are giving 1 volt as input, you will get response something like this, and you will get some settling time 2 seconds, rise time 0.03 seconds, like that. If you are giving this 100 volt also, if it is the linear system is able to hear 100 volt, if you are giving 100 volt also, you will get response like this, and the settling time and rise time will be remain same. So that is why you are using only unit step input. So 1 volt or 100 volt, the voltage doesn't matter for a linear system. So the system parameters, whatever it is, for a linear system, if you are using 1 volt or 100 volt, these things remain same. And in body also, that response will be same. If you are giving, that is why you are for a linear system, you are giving unit sine wave or something like that. And in LTI viewer, what you are doing is that if we having a non-linear system or something like that, it will linearize input perturbation and output measurement. It will linearize this model. This perturbation giving and output it is measuring, and the input output linearization it is doing. So this system, this EGC system, is actually a non-linear system. So first step is you have to study the linear model, then apply each non-linearity and observe the output, how it is coming. So that one only we are doing the experiment number 3 to understand the effect of non-linear elements such as Coulomb friction, speed torque limits on step response and frequency response of the mechanical system, and the disturbance response. So you are studying the control system, and that time you are studying that the proper control system has to remove the external disturbances. So how the integrator is acting when disturbance is coming, those things you are understanding this experiment number 3. There are 4 nonlinear elements present in the EG system These four are main, and the other things we are neglecting. And first one is actuator stroke limit. So actuator stroke limit. So the CGC system is driving the fourth stage. So this is the gimbal point. And this is the mounting bracket of the actuator, and here the actuator is coming, and this point, the mounting bracket is here, and this actuator has to move +4 degree and -4 degree maximum. So this can shift it to as my +4 and -4 only. It is moving like this and like this. Maximum +4 and -4 only. So it is a mechanical limiting. So maximum deflection of the engine gimbal is limited to +4 ±4 degree, and that is in the load side. And this +4 minus in the load side. Here is the load side, and this is the mounting bracket, and this one is the actuator. So actuator is this motor plus actuator is coming here, and it is mounted to this one. So this side, this load side is coming here. This load side, it is +4 and -4 degree. So in the motor side only we are controlling inside the motor. So motor side, it is coming through that gear ratio. Motor side, it is coming through that gear ratio. So you have to multiply this gear ratio. That is +or -4 is the deflection, and 398 is the gear ratio. Gear ratio. So it has to multiply, and pi by 180 converting to radians. So this much radians is the motor side deflection. Motor side deflection. So motor side maximum deflection is 4 into 398 into pi by 180 +or-. But in the load side, it is +or-4 degree only. So load side 4 degree corresponding to motor side multiplying that gear ratio. That is why it is like this. Actuator stroke limit. So where is the actuator stroke limit is coming is so here is the actuator maximum deflection. This theta m motor deflection should be +or-4 degrees. So in the motor side it is 4 into 398 into pi by 180. So you have to limit this. Simulation is mimicking the system. So you have to mimic this +or-4 degree into the simulation figure. So in the simulation integrator, you have to limit to +or-4 degrees. This integrator, the output integrator, there is the theta coming. So that time you have to limit the integrator +or-4 degrees. That is the first part you have to do. That is called actuator stroke limit. That is a mechanical limit only. It cannot go beyond +or-4 degrees. So that mimic we have to do in motor side also for simulation purpose. So you have to limit that theta to +or-4 degree in 4 into 398 into pi by 180. That is the first non-linearity coming here, that is actuator stroke limit. Second one is supply voltage limit. So supply voltage limit is, here is the motor coming. These are the controller gains and other things, and this IA is driving the motor. IA is driving the motor. So these controller gains, these things are coming, and it is driving the motor. So here your controller will be there and motor will be here, and the motor power supply you have to give. So these controller things are, if you are having a theta, so measuring this theta you are using encoders. So encoder maximum voltage limit will be if plus or minus 5 volt, something like that only. If it is a current type sensor, it is maximum 20 milliampere. 4 to 20 is the range of all current sensors, and 0 to 5 volt is the voltage sensors. So current sensor, it can move 4 milliamp to 20 milliampere, and voltage sensor 0 to 5 volt. So all the encoders are giving these kind of values only. So these things are, sometimes this controller will be analog controllers. So there you are using op amps, and op amp can carry maximum of 15 volt, and this motor at all running at maybe 28 volt or 100 volt, like that. So this controller voltage at all low voltage signals, and motor is high voltage signal. So in that purpose, this control signal has to convert it to this motor voltage. For that purpose, you are using power amplifiers or motor drivers. So some of you might be used motor drivers, LM3, 394, like that things we are using. That is 12 volt motor driver circuits. So there are so many pins will be there, control pins, and the motor pin will be 2. So this control signal, it will generate, it has 12 volt signal, it will switch the motor signal. It can run forward and backward directions. So that purpose you are using this power supply limit, because this power supply set down. So if you are having a 12 volt power supply and the motor demands more than 12 volt, it cannot give more than 12 volt, because that limit of the power supply is 12 volt. The controller is generating a control signal, and that corresponding to some 14 volt means it can drive, it cannot drive. So you have to limit that one to 12 volt. For this purpose, it is driving a PWM type, H type PWM amplifier. So pulse width modulated H bridge configuration, and 28 volt is the power supply you have to give for this motor. So you are having a 28 volt power supply will be there, and this H bridge connection. H bridge connection is something like this. So here plus 28 volt, and here 0 voltage, and here is the motor. This is S1, S2, S3 and S4 switches. So this 28 volt, if you are switching on S1, S2, the current direction will be like this, motor rotation will be like this. and S3, S4 you are switching on, that time S1, S2 is off. This one, that time it will be off. It is arranged such a way that this S1 and S4, S2 and S3 cannot on at the same time. If it is on, it is short circuited. Power supply will be short circuited. So this is avoided. Only allowed is S1, S2, either S1, S2 is on, otherwise S3, S4 is on. If S1, S2 is on, the current direction will be like this, motor rotation will be this. And S3, S4 is on, that time S1, S2 is off. And the current direction is this, and the motor direction will be rotating this direction. So motor can be rotated in clockwise and anti-clockwise directions according to this triggering of this H bridge. This is called H bridge. Yes, it is just like this H. And these two arms are triggering as program is running. S1, S2 means other things will be off. And this is not allowed, otherwise it will short circuit. So it is a H bridge power amplifier circuit only. And maximum voltage it can give is 28 volt. So if the controller demands, if your controller is generating some voltage that is greater than 28 volt, this power supply cannot give 30 volt or something like that. So manually you have to limit that one in simulation. In simulation also you have to mimic that. So you have to limit the supply voltage to 28 volt. Because in actually it is doing like that only. Actual practice, if you are using 28 volt supply means it can drive maximum of 28 volt. More than that it cannot supply. But that simulation also we have to mimic that. So we are using a supply limiter. So supply limiter will be just like a saturation block. So it will be like this saturation block. It is linear in this range. When it is coming 28 volt, it will be saturated. So more than 28 volt, whatever voltage it is coming, it is clipping. So that saturation is called this one, supply voltage limit. So first one is the mechanical limit. Second one is the supply voltage limit. Third one is the integrator output limit. So these integrators are made up of op amps, all integrators. That is analog. These integrators are used here. Those things are made of op amp circuits. So op amps can maximum give voltage of plus or minus 15 volt. So plus or minus 15 volt, it is coming like this only. For actual op amp, it is just like this curve only. So it is linear range in plus 13 and minus 13 only. The linear range of this integrators will be plus 13 and minus 13 only for op amps. So op amps can, op amp will be saturated after 15 volt. So we are not allowing op amp to saturate. So we will limit that to plus or minus 13 for integrator using for controllers. That controller integrator. So PI controller, integrator controller, like that things. These are made up of op amp circuit. So we will limit that saturation limit to plus or minus 13 volt. So this one is the third non-linearity coming. And fourth one is Coulomb friction. So this motor shaft, there will be a bearing. Bearings will be there, and shaft is connected to this one. And there is a screw mechanism for this motor to move forward and backward. So motor has to move forward. For this mounting bracket will be there. it has to move this forward and this backward direction. So ball screw arrangement will be there. Ball screw arrangement will be there. So here will be balls and nuts will be there, and it will move like this, forward and backward. So this friction is coming as a part of this mechanical bearings at all. It is moving forward and backward. This friction is coming into picture. And that friction is simply modeled as Coulomb friction. Coulomb friction. This friction value is, this Coulomb friction value is 0.06. So the major source of motor Coulomb friction is the ball screw, and that can be modeled as a signum function. Signum function is the sine function. If it is moving this direction, that friction will be acting in that direction. If it is in opposite direction, friction will be in opposite direction. That is called a signum function. So the stick slip models, both the things we are not taking here. The friction having, if the friction is there, it having, just it will go up and it will move like this, like this only friction. But we are linearizing and we are using this one as Coulomb friction area. The stiction and other things you are neglecting, and just modeling it as a signum function only. And the value of friction is this one. So these things you have to model as a non-linear thing, and you have to do the procedure: step response, disturbance response, and the frequency response. These three parts, and one more is speed torque characteristics. These four parts you have to do for a non-linear model. And this will take, I think, minimum 2 to 3 weeks to complete this one. And these files I will send to you. So up to this, any doubt is there? These things, I think, some are taken early sections.
From where the 398 factor comes?
What?
From where does the 398 factor comes?
This 398.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is coming from, this is the 398 Nm by NL value.
Okay.
This ball screw, it is actually connected to
Is
load
there
side.
any
This is the load side.
why it's specifically 398?
This designed like that only. That ball screw is designed like that only. That in number of teeth in the motor side and number of teeth in the load side is 1 by 398.
Okay, so it comes from the previous thing.
Yeah, it is actually designed like that. So if you are having a the cars at all now, you are having this Maruti car at all 1200 cc car, they will make a different Baleno, Sipta, everything they are making. So that weight also it will be vary. So engine will be same, only changing is the gear ratio. They will change the gear ratio only for meeting this load and that thing, because that weight is different. So weight is different means they will make, we have to make the gear ratio different. So gear ratio is coming after the weight and other balance, those things they are taking care of, and they are designing the gear. So we are not intentionally doing for 398. So we are having a motor and load is like this. That load capacity and motor, what is the optimum value of gear ratio only we are noting down, and that is coming to be 398. We are not intentionally giving. meeting the requirements only. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So this is a new section. So you are studied up to root locus only. That is why we are going slowly. So it will take 2 to 3 weeks next lab session to be complete. So today we can stop up to this. You just make the report and send to me. Any doubt is there, you can ask later classes also. This session we can do it next week. Otherwise you will be confused. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.